Hey everyone, welcome back to New Jang City, where it is confession time, because I've been keeping a big secret from all you guys for the better part of a year now. And it is a pretty big secret. It's still going. There's more. There's more. There's more. Oh man. Yeah, that's a pretty big secret. So here's the thing. Normally, in past years, when I would get products and I would open them and I would build them and I would review them, I would get rid of the packaging as quickly as reasonably possible because this is a lot of packaging and I don't want it hanging around my house. I don't want it taking up all this space. It's all nice and neat up against the walls right here, right now. But this stuff stacks up very quickly. And I'm trying to live in this house. I'm not trying to survive in this house. I'm not trying to turn it into a jungle gym. I don't want it to be an obstacle course. So I try to get rid of packages. I recycle the stuff because it's all recyclable. It's all cardboard, except for the plastic innards. That has to get thrown away, unfortunately. But yeah, normally this would all be gone. It's within days of each review. The boxes would be gone. But this time, for a full year, from the 2018 holiday season, the beginning of it, through now, which is the final break before the 2019 holiday season, I've been keeping all the stuff specifically to do this, specifically to put all these together in one place at one time and try to show them to myself and to all of you, just to get a feel for the mass of stuff that Lego puts out and that I review over the course of just a single year. And this is a lot of stuff, and I want to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of a run back through kind of quickly these entire themes. I've organized most of this stuff by theme, I think pretty well. Not all of it is completely in order, and I don't have every single package here. There are some that have not made it, that have not survived, but most of it is here. The vast majority of it is here. Man, that stack goes almost up to the ceiling. To keep some of these together, I've actually taped some of the backs of the boxes together. That's why you may see some awkward looking stacks here. But yeah, I've just been looking forward to doing this for a year. Now, I'm sorry that I don't have a better space to look at all of them together. I just don't have that much open space. And it's actually windy right now, so doing it outside probably would not have been a good idea. Anyway, let's go through some of this stuff. I think I can just start from over here. I do have kind of a miscellaneous pile right here, but this is some stuff that I've done fairly recently, like the Dragon Boat race. It was nice that we were actually able to get that on a global basis. Flintstones Ideas set, was a little bit disappointing to a lot of people who were big fans of the original Ideas submission, and ended up not being so good just in its finished form. Not as exciting. Definitely a very good build, solid, but not as exciting to look at. Lego Friends is doing big things. Lego Friends is at a high point right now. It's as good as it has been, I think, ever, in my opinion. Just the quality of the builds, just the stories that they tell, the variety is fantastic. Stranger Things, I think that Lego probably did not expect Stranger Things to do as well as it has. I know that it was already a big thing when they signed on with Netflix to make a set, but season 3 did pretty well, and people are really looking forward to season 4. So that was a big success, and fortunately, a lot of people really like the set as well. A lot of people like the train in this set, don't like the price of it, right? Meanwhile, that idea set down there, the treehouse, is pretty well loved. Needs a lot more leaves. It's rather different from the original submission, but mostly in a good way. This is one of those cases where it's mostly better. Ninjago got a lot of love this year. 2 full sets of releases. Way more than I personally would have expected, especially after all this time. So on the right here, for the most part, I've got the most recent season stuff, the Fire and Ice season sets. And they're a bit of a mixed bag. At least the prices are, or were, fairly good for the most part. That Titan mech turned out really nice. The Spinjitzu little individual sets, they didn't give us a full set of Ninja this time around, but at least they've stuck with the kind of show realistic looking Cyclones, even though they don't have the attachments like the previous set of sets did, which had a similar look, but the actual ability to customize. Really liked what they did with those because harken back to the better points of the earliest days of the original Spinjitzu spinners where you could customize and actually see results from doing things. This is one more Fire and Ice season set, but then we had this whole legacy thing, and this is another mixed bag, or was another mixed bag, with some things that were shrunk down from their original forms, some things that were expanded upon, made larger than their original forms. Most of them better quality builds. And some of them, were definitely subject to an overwhelming amount of nostalgia that would keep them from being loved as much as the originals, which is fine. But from what I saw, these things sold actually really well and were pretty well loved by a lot of folks. And again, prices were pretty good. Now we get into some of the more commercial stuff. The actual fully licensed stuff over here from the outside. One single set from the Captain Marvel movie, and that movie actually did quite well. Two sets from Spider-Man Far From Home, a movie which my wife and I only just saw about a week ago. Avengers, we called these the Avengers Endgame sets. They didn't have too much going on with them that had to really do with with Endgame itself, but that's okay. We did get some decent figures out of it. It's mostly just homage to the Avengers sub-franchise is what we got here, and this very much well-loved homage to the old days of Iron Man movies, and just a nice little set of figures and some good ways to display figures that we already have. So for fans of Iron Man in particular, that was a real gift. DC focused on Batman as usual because Lego knows that Lego fans like Batman. A lot of them do, especially within the DC realm. And we got the 80th anniversary Batman special throwbacks, or kind of rebuilds of older designs. Also, this one is one of the older sets from early in my year of collecting boxes. But a lot of these turned out to be pretty good builds, I would say. Harry Potter continues on this year and will continue further into coming years with more rebuilds, reboots of stuff that they've already done sets of before, at least once. But they're trying to do them, up to a modern standard. So a lot of things are higher in quality, higher in detail. Not all of them, though. Got some questionable design choices made with that Hungarian horntail in particular, but we got some little sets that made up for it to some degree. Small, inexpensive, good figures, good settings. Overall, I feel like that entire reboot for Harry Potter has been pretty good. I've actually enjoyed going through and reviewing these sets, not being a super Harry Potter fan myself, having only seen the movies, never read the books, and having only seen the movies once at that. But, I've been gaining appreciation, and these sets have definitely helped. I like the modern style in general better than the older ones. Speed Champions did not get a whole lot this year, unfortunately. Hopefully they will continue. We've only seen a couple more vehicles that have been announced so far as of the time of the recording of this video. I personally am super partial to the Ferrari F40. I remember when the Ferrari F40 first came out in magazines. It was Road and Track and Motor Trend. They were showing the initial ones. And I was like, what? 288 GTO has been surpassed. I can't believe it. So I'm partial to that. But I'd say that out of all of these Speed Champion sets that they did, I guess there weren't that many, but out of the ones that they did, probably the most loved thing out of all of these was the little Mini. Ironically, the smallest thing in the biggest set. The little classic Mini. I think a lot of people really enjoy that. A very joyous build, and the end result looks very nice. Minecraft continued to be supported very well by Lego this year, and that's an interesting thing because Minecraft made a big comeback in the real world. It's not that it ever went away. I mean, rumors of its demise have been greatly exaggerated repeatedly. It continues to be played by millions of people, but it made more of a comeback this year, I think, than Lego could ever have expected. And they supported it pretty decently well. I actually like these things they call big figs, which are, I call them giant figs because we already have things called big figs. We kind of use that name for a specific thing, and that's not what those are. Anyway, whatever you call them, I think they worked out pretty well. I think they could make more of those in the future, which will probably be of interest to a lot of Minecraft fans who aren't even Lego fans. You know, they just make for nice little display models. And we did get some new prints, some new colors, and a handful of new mobs. A little bit of updated stuff. They went into Update Aquatic. We got our first husk in that set down at the bottom, which is kind of an interesting set. You know, it tries to be kind of fanciful and fun. All right, Hidden Side. I need to talk again about Hidden Side on the whole. I don't think I've ever really gone through and talked about Hidden Side on the whole. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But cool sets, many of them, cool ideas, decent augmented reality app integration, though not a lot of people's devices work with it. You know, you need to have very recent devices, and even at that, not all of them will do. So, you know, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. But the biggest thing that I continue to see as a problem with these is the packaging. Now, a lot of people have appreciated the fact that these have used different packaging, you know, different graphic design style. It's whimsical. It's trying to establish environment, you know, as a standard, and experience as opposed to focusing on the actual sets. But from a distance, you look at all that stuff. What is it? I don't know what it is. If you don't know the sets, if you didn't know the sets in advance, just as a regular consumer, not like us, not like, you know, proper Lego fans, just regular folks who aren't looking at hashtag Lego leaks on Instagram 10 times a day. You know, just regular folks, the main consumers of Lego who go into a store, sight unseen, and look to see if there's anything new in the toy aisle. They're not going to know what any of this stuff is, and that's why a number of stores have actually put the boxes up backwards, because at least the backs of the boxes show you exactly what you can build inside. It's kind of small pictures compared to what we normally get, but it's been very confusing, and I have not seen a lot of buzz about these after the release actually occurred. There was a lot of buzz in the Lego fan community about these in general, you know, rightfully so, I think, but amongst just regular consumers, it's kind of faded out. Now, Overwatch is a very, very interesting situation with timing in particular. When these first came out, it was during an Overwatch, a real life Overwatch drought. There wasn't a lot of buzz about it. Pretty much most of what you would hear about Overwatch in general media and general gaming media was just in support of the esports stuff. And that's all just based on big, big money. Millions and millions of dollars. They're just pushing the marketing, pushing the coverage and everything. But players, normal players, again, just regular folk, weren't all that hot about Overwatch. Then there was a bit of a revival this past year. So I think Lego was able to take advantage of that, and they got some very fortunate timing out of that. They can never predict things like that. Of course, now Blizzard is going through some tough times as a result of some interesting world situations. We'll have to see how that all turns out. But yeah, it was a bit of an up year, well, a down year and an up year for Lego. But they definitely made some nice sets at least, with some cool prints and some poor prints. Okay, we got to talk about Lego Movie. This is another one that has had some high points and some low points. The low point was definitely critical reception and buzz around the movie after it actually came out. Of course, Lego Movie 2 was never going to be able to do as well as the original Lego Movie. You just cannot. You can't repeat that. You can't repeat that performance. It was so fresh and so new and interesting and cool and fun. And it fueled a resurgence in Lego on the whole, worldwide. And it made the Lego hobby more mainstream, more acceptable. You know, it didn't change the hobby that much. Yeah, we did get a lot of new people, but I felt like it mostly brought the folks who were just doing it in their basements, just doing it in their attics, you know, staying quiet. It brought them kind of out. Brought them out. made them more interactive with the world. Lego Movie 2, it was an okay movie. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. I mean, some people didn't like it. Some people did like it. But overall, it was okay. It was fine. It was enjoyable. And there were some cool sets that came out for this series, to be sure. Bunch of some new molds, bunch of new colors, part pieces and everything. But I think the high points of this, when it really comes down to it, is again, ironically, the smallest things. That Benny's Space Squad set was so loved by so many people. That was cool to see. Didn't sell tremendously well. Some places still had to put it on sale to move units, surprisingly. That just kind of shows the difference between the AFOL, TFOL vocal community and their perception and their numbers compared to the whole of the Lego consumerosphere. To think that something like Benny's Space Squad, yeah, it did sell out early on, but then as they continued to, just bring the products out at the normal rate, it started to go stagnant on shelves. But it's okay for us fans, at least. We were able to get some stuff that we liked. Some of this stuff was not of interest. Some of this stuff was only relevant to the Lego Movie to itself and doesn't really have any staying value beyond that. And it's just how the cookie crumbled, I think they're going to have to reevaluate their movie direction going forward. All right, time to look at the other side of the room. And the first stack over here is this Jurassic World stuff, and this is based on mostly spin-off stuff, and I'm okay with that. As far as I have seen, at least in stores near me, this stuff has actually sold. It's sold decently well, because what do you know? Kids still like toys of dinosaurs and things that are like dinosaurs and things that were contemporary with dinosaurs, even if some of them don't have feathers that should have. Some of them have the wrong claws. Some of them have the wrong colors based on what science knows today, but will surely change again tomorrow, as they're always changing their views of what was true for dinosaurs and their contemporaries. But regardless, kids have fun with this stuff, and that makes me happy. I'm glad to see that this stuff has actually sold well. The Jurassic World, the last full official Jurassic World movie stuff, sold well at first, but then it started to collect dust on shelves after the buzz from the movie went away, and those were very expensive sets too. That was another thing that really held them back. And then we get to Lego City, an evergreen, a true evergreen. It takes us right back to the original source of Lego as we know it today, as a brick-based construction system, and being all about reconstructing things in a small scale, in a rebuildable way. This just keeps going, and they keep doing more fire stuff, and they keep doing more police stuff, and older fans are like, why? I need to stop that. It's like the 200th fire station that they've made in my lifetime. Yep. Well, in your lifetime, in my lifetime, speaking as me, myself, most of the current Lego fans didn't even exist. Not until recently. So they need to keep stuff that's fresh on shelves for folks who want it and don't have it. And they've continued to do that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like that Burger Bar Fire Rescue. A lot of people like that. Even if the little fake water cannon thing isn't the best. But the Sky Police stuff, I've seen some of those actually sell. Like the big one, I think the big set sold pretty well from what I've seen. The little car sold pretty well. The individual car, need to get in closer, but there's just no way. It's really tight quarters right here. But some of the parachute stuff hasn't sold very well. And honestly, it didn't perform very well in real life. Let me actually try to walk around to the other side to talk about the space stuff. Now, to be honest with you, I can just barely see the screen on the camera. I can just barely see what it is looking at, but I am pointing the camera pretty much in the direction of the set. So I think we're talking about the same thing and looking at the same thing at the same time. I'm really happy that they came out with these space sets, and that, from what I've seen, they've actually sold pretty decently well to normal consumers who buy stuff from stores. Certainly The rise of SpaceX, the company, has contributed a lot to a resurgence in popular interest in space exploration and civilian space pursuits. I personally am no fan. I'm no fan of Elon Musk. I'm not a big fan of SpaceX itself, but I'm definitely a fan of space exploration and just general propulsion of society interest into exploration, space, and sciences for constructive pursuits. I think that overall it's a good thing that helps to push our entire human race forward just in a way that we need to continue to go. We can't stagnate with technology. We're technology driven, we're ability driven, and we've extended our abilities continually throughout history, which is what has separated us from other animals. And I think we need to continue to do that. I feel like it's part of our our purpose in life, if you will. But it's nice that Lego has put out some more civilian type space sets, and that they have been received pretty well, from at least from what I have seen. Something that's not Star Wars for space. Speaking of Star Wars, I did not do this on purpose, putting the city space stuff next to the Star Wars space stuff. Just the way it turned out with. Anyway, Star Wars. Yeah, we got a lot more Star Wars sets this year, didn't we? Woo. Oh man, yeah. So, I personally have seen, and I'm sure most people have seen, a slowdown in general consumer uptake of Star Wars merchandise. Star Wars stuff just in general has not been selling as well recently. I don't personally blame that on The Last Jedi. I don't even allow it to be blamed on the folks complaining about Last Jedi. The way I see it, they just over-marketed and over-merchandised the heck out of poor old Star Wars. They've tried to do too much. By they, I'm talking about Disney and all of their merchandising partners and marketing partners and everything. Just pushed too hard after the acquisition. They kind of got a hold of everything, and then we're just like, okay, it's going to be all Star Wars all the time, everywhere. And they just did too much. And I think the market has suffered for that. I still see, oh look, I've got a set that's upside down. I only just barely noticed that. Oh well. Fortunately, I think, there are still quite a lot of people out there that enjoy Star Wars for the goodness that's in it. Just the good, clean fun of it. The sci-fi, nerdy, geeky goodness of it. Whether you liked a particular director's movie or not, just in general, I think Star Wars is still a good thing. Had lots of problems in the Lucas days. Some of the worst decisions made in Star Wars, in my opinion, were made by George Lucas himself. The very worst. Much worse than anything that Disney has done or ever will do. But that's neither here nor there. These Lego sets are pretty varied. Quite varied. We have original trilogy stuff. We've got sequel trilogy stuff. We've got, hey, look at this. Something from a game. There's another game about to come out. We've got something from a TV series that hasn't come out yet. We've got these things. These action battle things. It was an interesting idea, but gosh, they turned out expensive. They're kind of fun, but at least that one in particular is fun. This one's not bad. That one was meh. The Endor one was meh. We got these junior ones, what were called juniors ones. That's okay. Fairly cheap for what you get. Looking at the stuff, not looking at the number of pieces and all. But just such a variety. Microfighters, 20th anniversary throwbacks with the old figures with the ugly prints on the back that reduce their value a little bit. A lot of stuff, a lot of different stuff. Some of it's cool, some of it's not. Just a wide variety. Big old Yoda down there. Gigantor Yoda, And this isn't even everything. There are also there's at least one Brickhead's double pack. I haven't reviewed it yet. And that's another thing just about when you look at these. Again, It's not every single thing that I've reviewed. It's not everything that Lego has brought out, just stuff that I have bought and kept the packages for, which is most of the stuff that I've bought. But also things with smaller bits of packaging, like the minifigure packs and yeah, the different types of minifigure packs. I have not kept the packaging for those, just the boxed stuff. Creator, yeah, I didn't do all the Creator stuff this time around, but got the modular building there. The excellent Mustang, truly excellent. Gingerbread house, I've seen some folks that actually don't like that, and that's okay. But I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty good. I think that enough people will enjoy it that it was worth bringing out to be sure. Lunar Lander, definitely a good thing. Harley Davidson Fat Boy, of interest to a limited number of Lego fans from what I've seen. Just everybody says if it was done with chromed parts or at least silver parts, they would have liked it more. I guess I can understand that. It is a big part of the appeal of this type of classic chromed up cruiser bike. I don't know. Overall, I think it's a fairly strong overall. Say overall again. A fairly strong offering in the Creator Expert line this year. And then when you look at the non-expert stuff, the little ones were definitely good sets. I think all of these were good sets, just the bigger ones were rather expensive. I also did review a few architecture sets. I still haven't done the Paris Skyline one yet. I still need to do that. But I think architecture just continues to go mostly from strength to strength and just gets better and more intricate, more interesting to look at and also to build as more and more parts become available. And that's the end of the line there over on this side. If anybody would care to count the boxes, I'll actually go ahead and do another run through here. So maybe you can put the video on a super slow-mo, count the boxes. Let me know what a number is. I'll be looking in the comments. I'm curious myself. I'm not going to count them right now myself. I'll probably try to do an estimate. But it's a lot of stuff. This is a lot of work that I've done this year. And, I've started... Well, let's see. It actually was pretty much since the beginning of this collection of boxes. At the end of 2018, when I started doing speed builds on my dedicated speed build channel, and that has been well received in general. And then at some point along the way, started doing the real-time builds as well. It's also been doing, I'd say, better than I expected. And now, for every single set that I do, every single set that I get to review, I do at least 3 videos, or at least 3 videos that cover them. Sometimes I put multiple things together if it's little things, little sets that just don't need a lot of time to cover them. So put multiple things together for folks who want to see more stuff at once. In addition to the number of videos that I've been doing, I've also been increasing the quality continually as best I can. At one point, not too long ago, I was recording at I want to say 15 megabits per second, something like that, just in terms of the amount of memory space that would be used up per second of recording. Now, a lot of the stuff that I do is 50 megabits, if not even higher than that. I've gone from full HD, which I had been doing for quite some time, at 30 frames per second, to now 4K for most of my review videos, the main review videos, and 60 frames per second for the build stuff. So it's more sets, more videos per set, and more time, more memory per video. And it's working out. When I really look at all of this together, and when I really consider just all that is going into this channel right now, it's nice to see that. I'm happy with the work that I'm doing, I guess, with the amount and the quality, but continue to look for ways to make it better. Even this past day, before recording this video, before putting all these boxes together, I was improving lighting conditions in my regular little white void room a little bit more, just one more time. Again, trying to chase that magical white against white ability where things don't, where I can review a set like that and it doesn't blow out. I still haven't gotten it just right yet, but I just keep trying to make it better, hoping that one day I'll have the key. I'll actually be doing it what I consider to be right. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the run through, or the run back down memory lane here, just 1 year worth of memory. Hope that you've enjoyed the content that I've been producing over the past year or so. I've been enjoying it more myself, enjoying more the process again. There was a time when, I was just kind of getting, especially like 2017, where I was just getting bogged down by all the YouTube algorithm stuff. Gotta do my rotation here again. Ugh, hitting the microphone. Terrible. I'm fired. All the stuff that I couldn't control was bugging me, and it was kind of pulling me down a bit. Kind of hurt my productivity, also hurt my energy level, which I know that a lot of you could hear, and that just made things less enjoyable for you to watch my videos. So I'm sorry about that, but I'm glad that I've been able to make a comeback, feeling much better. And I've been able to do quite a bit of work this year. I've also done some work on this here city, not as much as I would like to, but still some. I'm pretty happy with it. Still need to do a whole lot more though. Thank you for watching this. Hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any comments, anything that you would like to share yourself about the breadth of work that LEGO has done, the stuff that they have brought out, including if you have any comments about themes that I'm not even able to cover much these days because I just can't do everything. But yeah, looking forward to any comments you have, if you have any. If you don't have any, that's cool. I will talk to you again very soon in my next video regardless. Thanks for watching.